any time of the day or the night. So any farmer who has an ounce of farming, they will tell you that they will always have a problem with pests. And that is where the whole idea of really getting a solution for that is.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Shift AgriHub Podcasts. I'm your host, Margaret Mbesa. In today's episode, we are joined by a young agri-tech entrepreneur who has invented a very innovative solar-powered pest management solution. He's an agroecologist and very much involved in sustainable agriculture. So with me is Mutuma Muriuki. Welcome so much. Welcome to our program. Shift AgriHub, and we are glad that you've taken the time to join us for this episode. Karibu.
Santi.
Before we get into it, you can introduce yourself and tell us something about yourself.
Okay, thank you. My name is Mutuma Muriuki. I am an agroecologist. I have a background in horticulture, and I'm very much interested in what technology can do for us as farmers in Kenya and also Africa. And through that, I was able to come across and also build on the idea of solar traps in Kenya. And through that, I was able to, work together with different farmers and stakeholders, even including the farm we are in right currently.
Yeah.
And it has helped me win an award called the Ayute Africa Challenge, an initiative by HEIFA and E4 Impact.
Yeah, that is such an innovative idea. So how did you come across it? What did you think? What inspired you, to come up with such a unique innovation?
Yeah, so with a background in horticulture, we had so many ideas on how to manage pests, including, it's called integrated pest management, where you have to start with solutions that are basic, that use either mechanical or biological processes before you get to the last stage, which is the use of pesticides, so that at the end of the day you do not have produce that is full of pests. So for this one, there was the idea of using light to trap moths, but it wasn't very much advanced. There was a time very long ago, we were trying to use duct tape or sticky tape, yellow tape that has a bulb inside. But through that, we were able to really fine-tune, and we also came across a similar idea in other countries. Then we tried to incorporate the whole idea and bring it to Kenya.
So are you saying you started with duct tape and a bulb yourself, or it is there?
Yeah. There was a time we were on attachment in Nanyuki. So it was a sticky tape, the sticky tapes that also trap pests.
Yes.
So we tried to have a round design with a sticky tape, and then a bulb, so that it will be able to trap the moths at night. Well, it wasn't as perfect as we'd expect, but that was when the idea was born.
Yeah.
And to bring it to life, it took a few more years, and here we are.
Yeah, this is so good. But then maybe I would say you're also an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You're the founder of Eco Bristol.
Yes.
And maybe then just tell us about the inspiration behind that business, what you do, and what other products do you have other than the solar gadget?
Yeah, so when I started, I've been an entrepreneur for quite some time. I've been trying to deal in different things, but then I decided to major on what I really love, working with farmers, building solutions for them. Because in agriculture, you have so many problems, and that means there's a lot of opportunities to tap. So Eco Bristol was born in the year 2022, when we were trying to build and consolidate the idea into something tangible, and through that this is the first solution that we have for farmers. And also we have other products of which are in the making or in the process, including biochar biofertilizer that is an amendment to farmers who are in the arid and semi-arid areas, but also can be used in all types of soils, so that it can build the soil and incorporate all the beneficial microorganisms in that soil for the longest time possible.
So maybe you could explain what is soil amendment,
Yeah.
maybe for someone who might not know.
Yeah, so soil, what is soil first?
Yeah, let's start with what is soil first. Yeah.
So we have different types of soils, from sandy, loam, clay types of soils, and they are found in different agroecological zones. So we need soil. We need to feed the soil so that we are able to so that the soil is able to feed us. So soil amendment comes in when you have to incorporate different say compounds or nutrients in the soil if it lacks certain nutrients, because sometimes we want crops that have vegetative properties like vegetables, sukuma wiki and kales, and for that we will need soils that are more rich in nitrogen as compared to other nutrients. But then we also realize that soil amendment can't be just one nutrient, so it has to be something that is holistic and compound, and because it's a complex soil is a complex structure, we have to really understand it and really grow it fast. Because ideally what we do in the agriculture currently, we are only feeding the crops and neglecting the soil. So once you start with the soil, it might take quite some time, maybe 1 or 2 years, especially for organic farmers. But once the soil has really built all the necessary nutrients, it will be able to serve you for a very long time. Yeah.
So is the product available? Is it in the market, or it's at testing stage, or?
Currently, it's at the testing stage as compared to this one.
Yes.
So we have been working with farmers from different areas. One of the farmers in Meru has been able to incorporate it in her avocado farm, and within a period of 6 months, she has been able to harvest 50,000 shillings for the 2-3 trees that she used the fertilizer on.
Okay.
And also, she has been able to revive a piece of land that was unproductive. And right now she's able to plant different crops season after season because of the impact that she had on her soil.
We are all the best with that. It sounds quite promising.
Yeah.
And we look forward to hearing more about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Agriculture is quite wide. If it's in terms of inputs, for example, in organic farming or agroecology, there are many other components that you could have thought about, to develop a solution to farmers.
Yeah.
So why pest management? Why this particular innovation?
So pest management, pests are the first enemies when a farmer is trying to produce anything. Because, other than soil, if the farmer is able to have, all the nutrients for the soil, the next problem is pests. Yeah. Pests come in from all directions. They come in at any time of the day or the night. So any farmer who has an ounce of farming, they will tell you that they will always have a problem with pests. And that is where the whole idea of really getting a solution for that is. Because again, you as a business, you will also be able to get traction in providing a solution for pest management specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's such a concern for most farmers when they are faced with pests in their farm, and they might not maybe want to use the chemical solutions. Maybe it could be either too expensive for them, or lack of know-how. There's a lot of mismanagement, of pests because of the lack of the technical skills that a farmer needs to have. So maybe tell us, how does this work? What type of, flies or pests would be most ideal for a farmer to use on, and that it would work?
Okay. So allow me to add that, you see, with pest management, the normal or the first instinct for any farmer is to use pesticides. And as we are all aware, there's a report by Roots to Food that we launched last week. Last week, that's in the middle of September, and we were concerned that farmers are now spending 63% of, 63% of all pesticides used in Kenya on different crops are toxic. By toxic, they mean that they are highly hazardous for the environment and also for us, the consumers.
Okay.
So as we were trying to really come up with a solution for that, this is one of the solutions. And we've asked about the types of crops that it's able to serve and the pests it's able to cater to. So first of all, it's able to serve different types of crops, horticultural crops. That's the fruits, the flowers, and the vegetables. And for that, we usually have groups of pests that usually attack, especially moths. There are so many different kinds of moths and also fruit flies.
Okay.
And how it works is that it works by use of solar. The solar gadget is able to charge LED lights, which now work at night to trap different types of moths. And the reason is that moths, the adult moths fly during the night, and they lay eggs on different crops, including fall armyworm. You will find false codling moth on capsicum. You'll find diamond black moth. They'll do their business at night, especially from dusk. That's around 7 to 10. And during that time, the farmer is not active at night, so he will not be able to catch that. So this is where the product comes in.
Okay.
It's able to work by drowning the moths or electrocuting them.
Okay.
Then from there, you will find that we also have fruit flies. So fruit flies, especially in the mango farm that we're in currently, the flies attack at night also. They attack mangoes that are either maturing or in their maturing stage, and which really affects the farmer's income.
It does. It does. So, which I didn't know, that the moths and the flies are very active at night.
Yeah, most of them.
And because of the light, I think the way the gadget has been made, the solar energy, I think it's the one that lights up the bulb so that it attracts the moths and the flies at night.
Yes.
And then they are trapped in it. So, would you be breaking the cycle, the cycle of the flies, or how does it work, like the thinking behind it? In terms of, let's say, management? Is it that you're breaking the cycle before maybe the flies maybe lay eggs on let's say if it's a mango fruit, or how does it work?
So by breaking the cycle, maybe we can also compare it to the pheromone traps that we have currently.
Okay.
So pheromone traps use the female scent of the pheromone of either the moth or the fruit fly, and it attracts the males. See, that's why it breaks the cycle, because there is no laying of fertilized eggs on your crops. And for this one, the major difference is that it will be able to attract the males and the females, whether there is eggs or not. I mean, once the farm has such a gadget, it will depend on the acreage, because there are different sizes. So depending on the size of the model, the insects are able to fly towards the light. And once they are able to fly towards the light, you can say it's breaking the cycle early on in the season or the cropping cycle, because at that point, once you eradicate all the moths within your locality, maybe up to 5 acres, or you can even decide it can be also in a greenhouse. You can also decide it can be different number of gadgets in your 5, 10, 15 acre field. Once you are able to cater to the moths throughout the season, because it will work every night. And by working every night, it will be able to reduce the population significantly. So if the insect was to lay an egg on the crop, it will be attracted to the light first. So essentially eradicating the whole field of pests.
Yeah. So how many gadgets do you need for an acre or 2 acres?
Yeah, so we have different sizes, 3 sizes. This is the 1 acre model, 2 acre model, and a 5 acre model, which can also be used in a greenhouse. So
Okay.
1 acre model can be used, only one gadget can be used in 1 acre.
Okay.
Or also in a greenhouse.
In a greenhouse.
Yeah.
So the philosophy works the same way in a
Yeah,
greenhouse and
yeah.
outside there?
Yeah.
The same way. The gadget would work the same way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how old is the innovation? How long has it been in the market?
We've been in the market for 9 months. 9 months to, yeah, around 9 months, because we have been having bouts of production, so that we have been really going back to the production table, because once we go to the market, we receive a lot of feedback from farmers, and then we have to incorporate it at the production table, so that we can really give farmers what they require.
So in terms of effectiveness of the trap, have you been able to maybe work with farmers to look at the effectiveness of this trap versus maybe any other solution that they may have?
Oh yes, we maybe at some point we also talked about the number of pests it's able to eradicate, right?
Yes.
So with this product, you're able to eradicate up to 95% of the insects in the farm, and we can get that information even from farmers we have worked with, including one of the farmers you've also interviewed called Anne. Yeah. And she at her mango farm, she has been able to reduce the need for other interventions up to completely, because she's able to rely on such products to eradicate the insects all around the season, and also she will be able to use it for the next 5 years in her farm.
Oh yeah, that's something else. Eh? So the gadget can last up to 5 years.
Yes.
All of them, irrespective whether it's 1 acreage, a gadget for 1 acre, or 2 acres or 5.
Yeah.
1 is a long time. I mean, 5 years is a very long time.
Yeah.
Okay, do you offer any maybe warranty or anything? Maybe someone is asking, how does that work?
Oh yeah, we have a warranty. It's a 12-month warranty.
Okay.
So currently, because currently what we are doing, we are trying to ensure that farmers will come first.
Yeah.
So that anytime we have a technical difficulty, we'll go to the farm, we'll assess the issue, and then we will be able to advise accordingly. Yeah.
So you mentioned you won an award.
Yes.
With Ayute.
Yes.
Africa competition.
Yes.
Award. Among many other, contenders for this for this award. How was your experience? How did you hear about it? How did you pitch? Just give us the whole experience. How was it for you to go through this process?
Yeah, so pitching is usually very tasking, because you really have to stand or sit in front of very strong judges who are either in your field or not in your field. So you will have to balance between the technical knowledge and the impact it will have at the end. And going to pitch amongst some very strong contenders, very strong businesses, I was able to really be humbled by the process, because I realized that out here people have some very interesting innovations, and they've been able to build around technology as well as impact a lot of farmers. So where we are currently, we have been able to ensure that we learn from them as they are learning from us. And at the end of the day, when we were announced the winner, I was very surprised, let me say that.
You are?
Yes.
Okay.
I was, because I never expected to get that point where I've been able to be announced the winner among so many innovative people in the country, and also, you know, that process alone meant that this idea can really go places, even in the African continent. And yeah, well, maybe I'm a stoic, but I realized that sometimes I can get surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's good. The application in itself, it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to minimizing, pesticide levels in fruits, to make our food safer, for consumption.
Yeah.
So it's a very good innovation. But yes, the process can be humbling, because there were so many other innovations that were there. Yeah. But sometimes you can only have one winner. Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you.
That was quite impressive. And lessons that you can share with young people who might want to participate in similar competitions?
So lessons I can share to young people, either those in the agri-tech space or those in other industries. I will share my experience according to the perspective of agriculture and what that means to us as Africans. So first of all, young people should know that we must eat. Yeah. So by the fact that we must eat, we must now go back to our roots and assess what we need to put in our soils or in our fields that will ensure that we will have the best quality yield, and also we will reduce on the hazardous chemicals we are putting into our ecosystems, and also maybe even the value chain after the farm. What else will go on? Because we also have a high wastage when it comes to our food systems. So young people can really tap into any segment, and also further to that, you can tap into just one crop. You can either tap into herbs. Yeah. Herbs, you can decide to get into essential oils, because that has a huge market. You can either tap into livestock. But at the end of the day, you really need to understand how can technology get into that picture. How can climate smart technologies get into that? But also, how will the community benefit? Because you see, most people think that it's all about working alone, and it's very tricky to be an island. Yeah. So you'll have to either aggregate and then build the farmers' confidence in you, and then you produce something that will be used by the whole country or even outside. But but what's important is that you have to fold your sleeves and really do something important.
Yeah. And get to work. Yeah. Technology is for the future, and through proper application of technology, I think, in the agricultural sector, solutions can be got. We can get solutions at a lower cost. Yeah. Than if we use the traditional ways. Yeah. And maybe that way it will make agriculture not so much capital intensive, and maybe affordable for anyone who wants to start and they may not have a lot of money to put into it. Yeah, because you are mentioning, how much is the gadget? How much is the gadget going for?
So this gadget, based on our production capacity right now, 5-acre model will be going for around 25,000 shillings. Okay. The 2-acre model will be going for a maximum of 12,000 shillings. Yeah. And then the 1-acre model will be going for around 6,000 shillings. Yeah. And that's really after a lot of feedback we received from farmers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that it's also affordable.
Yes.
For the farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good prices. And from your research, how does it compare with the other solutions that farmers would apply for in terms of pest management?
So how they compare is the economics of it. Okay. Because you see, for most other products, you'll have to buy them seasonally. Yeah. Or if not seasonally, after every 2 months, or when they are needed. And that means that if you have to get into production, just set aside an X amount for that. But for our models and our products, we were trying to ensure that the farmer will only use once in, say, 10 seasons, 15 seasons. and the farmer is able to really recoup and have a high return on investment on the same.
Yeah, in fact, the farmer, Anne Mulwa, the farmer of this wonderful farm, also said the same.
Yeah.
That with this, it's lasts you for 5 years, but she's been replacing her traps every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
So in terms of economics, like you've said, it's good. And what I like about it is that the solution offers trapping both the male and the female.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a very good benefit to it, and that it also works at night.
Yeah.
When most of the flies and moths are very, very active.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first time I heard about it, it reminded me of going to a butchery. You know, they have all these. So the first time when we spoke, it just came to my mind. I'm like, this is such an innovative idea, because you've applied something you've seen. Like you talked about the sticky tape and the bulb. It's just something you saw, and maybe you thought, how can this be applied in a different context? Yeah, in terms of managing the pests and pest control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because ideally it's really about innovating.
Yeah.
Because it's a space that will continuously grow. Someone else will also come up with other ideas. But then the point is, how can I keep on redefining the problem? I mean, the solution, so that the farmer is able to get the most impact. Oh yeah, I've also remembered that the beneficial insects are not active at night. So bees, butterflies will not be affected.
Yeah, because they're not active at night.
Yeah.
That's a good distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not active at night.
But then there are some pests that usually fly during the day, like white flies. But that's only dependent on the region and also the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But specifically, I think you mentioned to me earlier the crops. I think I would like you to mention which crops would benefit, because I think we talked about the pests. You gave us the names, but maybe you could give us specifically the crops that would highly benefit. I know you've talked about horticulture, but for someone starting out, maybe they would like to, if you're a bit more specific, it would help them.
Oh, okay. So we talked about fruits, flowers, and vegetables, right?
Yes.
So for fruits, especially mangoes, there is the problem of mango flies, or what people call the fruit flies. Avocados, there is the issue of FCM. It's called the false codling moth. It's a moth that will injure the fruit itself. Then when we go to the vegetables, there are different kinds. There is the tomatoes. There is the vegetables that we eat as the leaves, the skuma, the cabbages, the kale, the spinaches. So all those have the problem of either tuta absoluta for tomatoes. There's the DBM for the cabbages and the kales. So and of which these moths are very expensive to get rid of, because for Kirinyaga, farmers will spend up to 100,000 shillings per acre per season, and you realize that farmers spend up to how many acres? They will invest up to 5 or 10 acres. So getting rid of such a menacing pest is very expensive. Yeah. So flowers also, we have different types of moths, and given that in as much as they are grown inside greenhouses or outside, it will still benefit the farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the farmer we are visiting, showed us pictures of how many flies, are captured overnight.
Yeah.
There are so many.
Yeah.
And that shows the effectiveness of this, and it's really been useful to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has been testing it for some time. I think you must have given her before you even commercialized it.
Yes, yes.
She was one of your farmers that you were testing it with.
Yeah, yeah. With innovation, someone has mentioned that we are very nonchalant. Why?
Yeah.
With innovation, you realize that almost everyone will tell you no. And with how innovation flows, they're usually the early adopters before you get to the late majority.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the early adopters, you realize that you will get either some very interesting takes, very interesting feedback, but also on the other side, you will get some very harsh critics. Yeah. And you see, you will have to balance the different opinions that are coming in.
Yeah.
So it takes a a very strong mindset to wade through all that before you are now able to bring an innovation to the market.
Yeah, I can imagine, because they're also risking quite a lot because they are abandoning what they already know to come on board with your solution. So they also need to know, you know, how to use it, what are the benefits, what would be the challenges, and their feedback, I'm sure, has helped you, you know, improve your innovation despite their strictness and their maybe they are quite forthright. They are telling you exactly how it should be. They are not mincing their words.
They are not.
Yeah. Okay. But you see, you have persevered, and how this has come to be. Yeah, quite a good innovation. So you talked about agroecology. Maybe to our viewers, what is agroecology? And how does this solution come into play?
So agroecology is the art and science of incorporating agriculture and also agricultural practices in the context of how they relate to the environment. So that means sustainable production, that means climate smart agriculture, different ways of approaching the farm and also the food system. So also in Anne's farm, you realize that she has been working a lot on climate smart agriculture, conservation agriculture, given the different, the global climate that we are experiencing. And now where this gadget comes in is the idea of climate smart agriculture, because it's a solution that has to blend in to the problem and also not impact the beneficial organisms that are already within the ecosystem, and also the output, you know, the produce must not have residues. So you will have a narrower option, number of options when it comes to producing crops that will benefit you economically, and also crops that are chemical free. So that's where this gadget will come in handy.
Yeah, it is an eco-friendly, I think, product.
Yeah.
Because you've mentioned it doesn't harm the beneficial like insects that help with pollination.
Yeah.
And how sustainable is it, even in the farm? You said it can take, what, 5 years?
Yeah.
Are there any other factors a farmer can consider when they are looking at its sustainability for use and maybe application in the farm?
Factors to consider, I will say nowadays the farmer will have to consider the economics of the solution, because if you'll have to solve, or rather buy a solution every other month or every other time you want to grow a crop, it will become very tough for you economically at the end of the day. Maybe farmers have not really been looking at their finances or their, the farm inputs that they are coming in, but then we see with strict financial controls, gadgets that are able to last them a longer period of time, for example 5 years, they will be able to see the return on the investment within either one season or X number of months.
Yeah. Because when you talked about the farmers in Kirinyaga County, spending, is it 100,000?
Yeah, 100,000 per acre per season.
Per acre per season.
Yeah.
What crop are they growing? Which one?
That's mostly tomatoes.
Yeah, tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yet your gadget for an acre, how much? It's 20.
It's 25,000 for 5 acres.
How much again?
25,000 for 5 acres.
For 5 acres.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see that that's around 5,000 shillings per acre.
Yeah.
And that will last them up to 5 years.
Up to 5 years.
Yeah.
And during the cloudy days, what can farmers do? Can they still use it?
Yes,
since it's solar based.
Yeah, because it's solar based. What we know about solar is that even on cloudy days, there are usually bouts of sunshine. Even if it's 1 hour, 2 hours, then the batteries will come into play.
Okay.
So that's how the whole idea works.
Okay, like can it work in Molo? Molo, it's can be quite cloudy. I don't know, but maybe I don't have the science, the knowledge on how energy is charged using solar. So it can still work even on cloudy days.
Yeah, on cloudy days it can. And if at all you realize that there's no sunshine that's able to charge the batteries, there is the option of charging it using the grid electricity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, it has two ways of charging. It can charge using solar and as well as electricity in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. You can briefly explain how the gadget works and some of the physical features, just to explain, because I can see there's a bottom bit, there's a bulb. Yeah, just briefly.
Yeah. So for this gadget, the 5-acre model, it's technically able to electrocute insects. And as you can see, the first part is the solar panel that is able to enclose the other gadgets inside, which now comes, when I mean other gadgets inside, that's where you have the sensors that are able to work to light automatically in the evening once there is a darkness. Then here we have a grid where the different insects are electrocuted. And once they are electrocuted, there's a small basin that they land on. So from here now, either the farmer is able to identify the number of insects captured, or also take the insects killed to be used as animal feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Then from there is a small switch that will able to that's left on an on state like that, and every evening once it's dark, it's able to light automatically.
Okay. To light automatically. The farmer doesn't have to switch it on.
Yeah.
It has automatic sensors.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be your ideal customer for this particular gadget?
So an ideal customer is for me is the customer who is interested in going the chemical-free way, and also a farmer who is really interested in taking up innovative technologies to get rid of pests in their farm, and also a farmer who wants to increase their production. And by production, I mean either vegetables or fruits or flowers. And also, the farmer will be able to sell it to international markets, because we know that there are more stringent rules when it comes to chemical residues. So with such a gadget, that ideal farmer is able to pass all the rules and easily export their produce to the international market. Yeah.
Yeah. And having gone through this process as an entrepreneur, an innovator, or is it inventor? Everything you invented, you innovated, and now you're turning it into a business.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you've gone through? Maybe you could share with us, and how are you able to overcome some of these challenges?
So the first challenge is really putting pen to paper, and when the rubber meets the road, there's usually, for someone to really innovate something and also sell, see, those are two very distinct skills, because you can really be innovative, but when it comes to selling, not many people will be able to buy into the idea. So the challenge was how to manage between really being able to understand how the gadget works, then at the end of the day, being able to go to our clients, sit them down, take them through the process of how to really acquire a gadget, the whole sales process, which has not been easy, given the fact that you must also move around quite a lot. But the good thing is that you see, with the fact that there have been different challenges, I've met and also partnered with some very interesting individuals who have been able to help me either in marketing and also help me in producing the gadgets. Then from there, what other challenge? Of course, the first challenge for most people comes to capital, but then that's not really, that wasn't my first challenge. I wanted, first of all, to really enjoy the process. But when it comes to capital, sometimes we have the problem of, moving around and trying to really get the farmers engaged into the sales process. Because once you are able to sell it to a few farmers, you realize that the capital is never really an issue. But then the period between farmers getting to buy into the idea and you in innovating, bring all the things into the market, becomes it's either a long process or an interesting journey that a person really goes through. But also, given the national CAB standard, which other standards? There are so many different standards that you have to go through and understand. But that's where now we've been able to work with Kenya Climate Innovation Center. Other challenges, a youth challenge which really came through for me, and we were able to set ourselves at the forefront and showcase our ideas to so many people. So you see, with such partners, we are able to lighten our load and improve our production capabilities.
Yeah, so the product is ready for mass production.
Yes.
That's nice. So do you have a partner, or how are you producing it?
Yes, we have a local partner. I don't know whether I should mention the name. But
no, if you're not comfortable, it's okay. But
okay.
You're able to to produce, because the challenge with innovation sometimes is how fast can you manufacture that particular innovation to be able to serve the market, because you might create a demand. So once the demand is created and you get the orders, then it becomes a challenge meeting that demand.
That was another challenge.
Yeah.
That was another challenge, because you go to the market, you are very excited to showcase the idea. But then once the people come in to ask for the product, you realize that you can't really meet their demand, which now makes you really go back to the drawing board, understand where you can improve a few things here and there, then go back to them now.
So you've been able to sort out the manufacturing bit. Okay, that's good. It lifts a weight off your shoulder.
Exactly.
Because then you don't have to physically be involved in manufacturing. You can outsource the services. Okay, that's good. That's a good model. Yeah. And your future plans?
So my future plans, as I mentioned earlier, there are other products in the line. So my main theme, or my thematic area in Eco-Bristol, is where we are able to, it's called pesticide-free farming. That's one with this gadget. But with biochar, we also really want to help farmers have a soil amendment that can last for a very long time in their farm. So ideally, I really want to build solutions that are eco-friendly, and also be an agri-tech that is able to build on data and help farmers with every different kind of problem we are facing. Not every problem per se in agriculture, but then the major problems we have in production, that will really help them improve on their capabilities of producing, have chemical-free products, and also impact their soils positively.
You're a young person.
Yes.
And maybe as in closing, are there any misconceptions that people associate young people with agriculture, with technology, the mix, agri-tech, or even just getting into agriculture? Are there any misconceptions that you've realized they are not true? They're just myths?
There are some myths, either from young people and other people alike. So from young people, yes, they are very, very much into different kinds of technologies, but then the problem is how those technologies become solutions in farms. There is a huge mismatch, because they might have an app or a solution, but then it doesn't meet the farmers' demands. But then also on the side of youths having a huge problem in agriculture, I think that has been a myth. By problem, I mean there are no youths in agriculture, which has been fed into to us for a very long time. But from all I've learned over the past few years, I've realized that youths are really coming up in the space, and they are coming in hot with different kinds of ideas.
Okay.
So that for me was a myth.
Yeah.
And then also from the idea of agriculture being only for our shosho's is also not true. Why? Because in as much as most people who are into conventional agriculture and maybe having agriculture as a side business or agriculture as for the poor, that hasn't been true at all, because people are really coming in from different walks of life, and also incorporating different productions or products into agriculture that has really encouraged me to really solve the other solutions, other problems for them. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a huge market. We were told, by 2030, 2040,
yeah,
the richest people will be from agriculture, which I completely agree, because we have to feed ourselves and we also have to feed the world. And from where I stand, in as much as we are told the largest part of Kenya is arid and nothing can grow, I find that to be untrue, because anywhere you can grow, anywhere that has sun and maybe can get some type of irrigation, is a place that can actually grow anything. Yeah. So that means any part of Kenya can be used for production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, well said. That's so good.
Yeah.
So you've talked about young people getting into agriculture.
Yeah.
From your experience, what advice can you give them so that they can actually capture, those opportunities that are there and maybe work smart, or embrace some of these smart agriculture or smart technologies that will make them maybe work smarter and reap much more than using the traditional ways of farming or agriculture?
Yeah, so for youths, most youths, when we were growing up, we were told you either work hard or you'll only be lifting jembes.
Yeah.
So you see, agriculture was fed to us as something for the poor, and also maybe a punishment for really not working hard at school. But the reality is, for any youth who is watching and who is interested in getting to agriculture, they do not have to always till the land, and growing one type of crop, either maize or tea. Any piece of land can be used to produce a crop that is ready for the market. So you either start from the market end, see what has to be done, because consumers will want different types of produce. So what can you produce among that? And if you cannot get into production, you can either get into the value chain of adding value to any crop. We are in a mango farm, for example, so any youth can decide to get into the value chain of adding value to the mango, either drying it so that it's not wasted, because we have a lot of post-harvest losses, or if it's not mango, you can take any crop, herb, spice, what else, fruits, add value to it, package it, and sell it to us. People will buy.
Yeah,
you're
right. Oh, that's very good advice. And in this journey of entrepreneurship, do you have maybe a quote or something that keeps you going, or lessons learned, something that you always reflect and think about it, and it pushes you even when you face challenges?
A quote that really gets me going is from a book called Good to Great. One of the books around building businesses. And the author really talks about how a business is built. It's never built overnight. You have to really be consistent and improve every given point that you have, so that every month or every year that you check where you are, you will be able to see that you have improved on quite a number of items. So that in a length of time, you become one of the great companies. And from what he was saying, he mentioned that the great companies never really know when they became great. They just became. But if from the small, consistent things that they do on a daily basis or on a regular basis, they actually turn them into great companies because of their culture and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's in the small things that we do that contribute to the big picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow, thank you for that. That's quite inspiring.
Yeah.
Something to reflect and think about.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mutuma, for being with us. And where can anyone reach you if they want to buy the solar gadgets for their farm?
Yeah, so on various social media platforms, it's called EcoBristo. On Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I'm the one who manages the handle right now. Yeah. So it's EcoBristo, you can get at us there. And also, if you like to contact me or any one of my people in the company, our company number is 0739 402 465. So again, it's 0739 402 465. That's our WhatsApp business channel, and you can connect to us through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So get in touch with Mutuma of Eco Bristol for this innovative solution where you'll reduce the pesticide levels. It's pesticide-free farming, isn't it? That's what you're promoting. So thank you very much for joining us, for taking the time to share with us the milestones that you've accomplished, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, even to the end of this episode. We've learned so much from Mutuma and the innovative solution that he has. So join us next time where we interview another agripreneur or an agricultural expert who will share with us more information and more inspiration. Join us on our social media channels at Shift AgriHub. Visit us from our website at shiftagrihub.com. So thank you so much and see you in the next episode. Asante.